How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another Persona 5 update video. It's sure been a long time since we made one of these, but today we have something very cool to talk about. After wrapping up the Persona 5 animation Dark Sun TV special over in Japan, Atlus teased new projects for the Persona series in 2019. That's right, an announcement for an announcement has got people excited. Myself included. For right now, this is just a teaser, but it is confirmed that Persona 5R, whatever that is currently in development. Sadly, no additional information was given, but we will know more about this Persona R project that we've been hearing rumors about in March of 2019 during the Super Live P-Sound Persona Street event. Buy your tickets now! So, a lot of people are upset that this is literally just an announcement for an announcement, but you have to keep this in mind. For us in the West, it's not really anything too interesting, but this is deliberately done to boost ticket sales for this event. It has been a reoccurring theme now that during these big Persona music events that people love, new Persona games get announced. So we kind of know that yes, whatever Persona 5R is, it is in fact a video game, because there is a Sony logo before this trailer starts. So yeah, if you were holding out and really feeding into those rumors that Persona 5 is coming to Switch, sorry. It's not looking good. It's not 100% deconfirmed yet, but whatever Persona 5R is, it is definitely coming also to Sony consoles. So that begs the question, what exactly is Persona 5R anyways? Well, I've basically broken it down into three possibilities. The most likely is that Persona 5R is either going to be additional content for the base game of Persona 5, or a remake/enhanced version of the vanilla Persona 5 game with new confidants, etc. And lastly, it's Persona 5 Rumble. No one is saying this. No one is saying this at all, and I don't know why. For the longest time now, Atlus has been abbreviating their games and spin-offs for the Persona series in very simple ways. Okay, P4A is the Persona 4 animation. PQ and PQ2, that's Persona Q. That makes a ton of sense. But then you have Persona 4 Arena, which can also be confused with Persona 4 the anime. So maybe this is their time to, like, you know what? We gotta get a new acronym. Persona 5 Rumble. I don't know. That's one of the possibilities that I came to when deciding to make this script. But the interesting thing about this trailer is that right here on one of the displays, it says projects. Plural. Are we getting a lot of announcements at this specific live show? That's kind of what it sounds like, but if that's the case, what else could Atlus be working on here? A long time ago, Atlus issued a survey to fans specifically asking what Atlus products you'd be interested in, and one of the options on there was a Persona 5 game with added scenario and new elements. While I personally felt that this was an inevitability, because as we've clearly seen, RPG companies really love to remix and repackage their existing franchises. Developing a lengthy and also fun RPG is a taxing process for the company. It either takes a lot of money, a lot of time, or a lot of talent. And you can't have all three, so usually time is the weakest link there. So these sort of games take super long to make. So to curb the appetite of the avid RPG consumer, companies usually do these remix or final edition games so that fans get new content, but it doesn't take forever for the developers to make. So, is it a safe bet that P5R could in fact be this enhanced remake? Yes and no. I mean, here's the deal, right? Persona 3 came out, and then a year later, they did Persona 3 FES, which added new costumes, added Aegis as a social link, and a whole new game called The Answer, which is one of the worst Atlus products ever made. I'm not kidding. It is so bad. But while I personally do not like it, it did have a lot of longevity in it. It introduced new characters, new gameplay concepts, and was kind of a big deal back then. Then Persona 4 comes out. and we don't get Persona 4 Golden for at least 4 years, because Golden was a way bigger undertaking. There is infinitely more content in Golden compared to FES, even if you do include the answer. The just amount of cutscenes they made, the costumes, writing in 2 new social links this time, holy crud, and more months to the game, that added a lot of development time. So the way I see it is, either while Persona 5 was being developed, there was a side team that was already working on the remake for that game, and I know that seems scummy, but if there's the demand, Atlus is going to supply. That's just how business works. Next, let's discuss the possibility that they're going to try the Persona 3 answer approach yet again. How likely is this? I'd say about equally as likely as a Persona 5 remix. In the current gaming climate, DLC is nothing new, and Atlus has not been a stranger to it, usually adding additional scenarios and paid content in some of their other RPGs. And sometimes this is even story DLC. Could this be a scenario where you actually play as the villain of Persona 5 and see what they were doing during the story, or could it be just what happens after the credits? We do know because of an annual report that Atlus has grown to 270 employees, so even though Atlus just finished wrapping up on Persona Q2, which granted probably took a while to develop, it's a very large game, this could still be a possibility that Atlus might want to explore. But at the same time, have you seen their Dancing All Night costume DLC prices? Holy crud! A $10 story DLC, why do that when people are already buying these costumes? That's why I don't think that's really the most likely compared to the other 2 possibilities that I have on this list, because why spend all this time and energy and money to make something when we can make money in other ways, like just remixing the base game and getting way more money and potentially more people into the franchise, which equates to more money, or make a different spin-off in another genre and get more people into the franchise that way. You see what I'm saying here? It's all about that money. But realistically, Atlus is a business. They're just trying to do what both fans want and what people want. We still don't have all the data on their initial survey that they did. For all we know, Persona 2 Remake could have been, the top contender there. I really doubt that, because everyone likes, the more recent games, sadly, but not gonna really get into that now. Let's move on to my third belief that what Persona 5R could possibly be, and that's just a Persona 5 fighting game. Persona 4 Arena was not just a one-time thing. They did eventually re-release the game with additional content, and they would only do that if it sold very well, and critical acclaim was very high on these specific titles, so I do believe that eventually Arc Systems would want to work again with Atlus. But at the same time, they're currently working on a Grand Blue Fantasy fighting game, which that's probably going to take some time to develop. Now, I don't work at Arc System Works, and I barely have an understanding on how Atlus operates, but it's hard to imagine that Arc Systems would have the manpower to develop both this Grand Blue Fantasy game and Persona 5 Rumble at the same time, but hey, I could be wrong. And that is what I personally believe Persona 5R is, because we won't really know for sure till March 2019, but at the same time, Atlus has been sort of predictable by now with how they're handling the Persona series, and people want to play a new Persona 5 fighting game. That'd be sick, and I'm sure it'd sell great, so that's obviously been talked about at the board meetings, okay? That's what I'm trying to say here. Whether it's new DLC, an enhanced edition, or the Persona 5 fighting game that I want so bad, oh my god, the only way to know for sure is to be patient. And I hope you guys like this video. Personally, I do love Persona 5, as you guys may know by now, but there are a couple moments in the story and a couple of aspects of gameplay I do think could have been handled a little bit better. But because Persona 5 was in development for 5 years, they couldn't spend an eternity making sure every little thing was perfect. A couple things that come to mind were I really want there to be more scenes like when Makoto and Ann first talked to one another and Joker wasn't there. I want more scenes with the Phantom Thieves just being friends. without the main character being there, that kind of just stops being a thing once the party gets to a certain size, which I find kind of frustrating. I also didn't really like how Sainijima's confidant was handled at all. Her development and sort of like understanding, wow, I'm a total jerk to my family and people around me. And it's just kind of glossed over when she is a Judgment Arcana. She is a confidant, and her just confidant levels up so fast. I really feel like if they spent more time developing her, which they could do with additional months, maybe. I don't know how they're going to do that, because the game ends on a specific month, and then you have the epilogue and the credits scene, which happens on another month, so that is very finite, unless they push the final boss battle back a couple months to give time for these new events. I don't really know how they're going to do that, unless they write in a new final boss, which they could very easily do, but I'll get to that once we enter theory crafting territory. But that, and giving Haru a little bit more screen time and development, because man, she just really got screwed over by someone else who shall not be named. But whether they do that, a DLC, or whatever, Atlus has proven that they are just on a roll, and that the people working on these games are not only talented, but incredibly passionate about developing games in a specific style, and really proving that they're the new kids on the block when it comes to developing role-playing games. And yeah, I'm a little pumped. I kind of wish we knew just a tiny bit more info, but oh well, what are you gonna do? I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on what exactly this thing, projects, what does that mean, could be. And hey, maybe it'll surprise all of us and introduce something that none of us could have seen coming. Like the Joker reveal. Oh my god, I still can't believe that. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today. Thanks for being so great, and see you guys next time. Bye.